Should be short.
Just identify yourself because of their way that
Yeah.
Go grab
It sure is. However, I have diesel in my truck, and there's one station in Valley Center that's about $1 a gallon cheaper than around here. Yeah, I have a 40-gallon tank, so it's like, do you make the drive? Do you not make the drive? What's it going to cost you to get there? It makes sense for me at $1 a gallon. But, you know,
That's a big tank. Mine's only 27.
yours is 27. My old Chevy was 24, I think it was. Yeah. Yep. Empty, 200 bucks usually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What kind of truck is it? Dodge?
Ford 350.
Ford? Oh, yeah, that's what I have. Ford 350. Did you have aftermarket gas tank?
No.
No. What year?
2022.
Mine's 17. I have a
They coulda
17
kicked
and
it
I
up.
have an 07 and a 17. I think my 07's 29 and my 17 is like 27, 28, something like that.
Yeah, I'm 40. And no, you know what? No, I ordered the truck, but I didn't order a bigger tank when I ordered the truck, so I don't get it.
Maybe they must have increased the size of the tanks. I know you can buy. My neighbor has the same truck, and he goes, "Yeah, he has another house in Texas. I got this bolt-on thing that goes right to the tank, and it's he ggets like 100 and some odd gallons."
Yep. My buddy has the same thing in the back of his truck. Yeah. He can go. It's ridiculous how much fuel he carries. But
carries a mortgage payment.
oh my gosh! As my daughter was asking me, she's like, "Hey, Dad, does it cost you $5? It says at the gas station $5. Is that what it costs you?" I go, "No, bro. I go, try $200." She's like, "God, that's a lot of money." Right? But you know what? Honestly, I fill my tank up. I get 2.5 weeks out of it, so it's still a lot. But I'm trying to justify it, I guess. But whatever. You know.
Got to get around.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got a new one.
Yeah,
F-350. Did you get like the crew cab or
Crew cab.
short bed, long
Bed.
Oh, so so yours is even harder to park.
Oh yeah. Dually.
Oh
yeah.
so you can you can go it. Well, that's
Well,
it.
you know what you do is you go online and you check on Google Earth and check all the parking lots before you go anywhere. Because if I can't, then I jump in my wife's car and take my wife's car.
So what do you do?
I have a big fifth wheel.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a 43-foot fifth wheel. Yeah. So.
That's a big fifth wheel.
Yeah. So we had a 38, and
That's
it wasn't
still huge.
Yeah, but my wife. Yeah. That's all I'll say right there.
I had a 26, and I thought that was big.
If I could do it, I'd go back down to something like that. That'd be awesome. But once you get used to it, though. What's this?
Needs to talk to your wife.
I'm telling you. Yeah, if she told you right now, we should have bought the 45-foot. That's what she'd tell you right now.
You must be like a concern going down the highway with a long bed, F-350 dually, and 40 some odd feet of fifth wheel. That's a lot of
So
material.
you know what? On a standard highway, it's not a big deal. Now I go to Ocotillo Wells. That's a place I go to regularly, and going down the narrows, going out there, that's when it gets really tight. You get real concerned.
Yeah, when you're going, you think your awning's gonna hit the rocks. And
Oh
sticking
God,
out.
yeah. And it's funny. The last time I went out was New Year's, and half the crowd was coming home while I was going out. So with that big of a rig, you're really on the line making some of those turns. And with traffic coming this direction, it was.
Yeah, here's clicking mirrors.
Yeah, as I said,
So is it a weekend warrior too? So you can put a toy hauler.
I did have one of those. It's a Momentum.
So what do you do with all your desert toys? How do you get those out there?
I have a garage out there for my car, and then my kids have quads, and I have a golf cart. I take that out in the trailer.
Okay.
So when we go out there, I just get the garage open, get the car out.
Michael,
More work than anything.
if your wife wants a bigger one, have her try.
Yeah.
I know, I get it. She's like, you'll learn. Every time we get something bigger, you'll learn. I'm like, and all my buddies are commercial drivers, so for them it's no big deal. But for a guy that
Well, yeah, you're supposed to have a Class A non-commercial for that size, right?
recreational,
Yeah.
yep, I know.
Which means you're .04 now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changes the whole game. Yeah.
Did you ever get the license?
Not yet.
No, I never did. I got a ticket once because I had a bad. whatever that the hideout where the motorcycle place is by Lake Henshaw there, it's right there, and the cop pulls me over and he says, "You have a brake light out." I said, "Oh, okay." Give him all my stuff. I said, "Okay, I think I have one here. I can go fix it." He goes, "Oh, you need to get off the road. I'm kind of dangerous because it was tight right there." And then he goes, looking at my license, he goes, "Hey, you need a Class A non-commercial for this size rig," because he's looking at my tonnage already.
It's 6 o'clock, time to get started for the Planning Commission meeting of February 18th. And our first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Commissioner Hastings.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So that's how I found out about that. Then I got rid of the rig a few years
If we could have the roll call, please.
Chairman Grimm,
Here.
Vice Chairman Looney, Commissioner De Jesus,
Here.
Commissioner Hastings,
Here.
Commissioner McCarthy,
Here.
Commissioner Savage, absent, Commissioner Martin,
Right here.
Student Commissioner Basso, Student Commissioner Lieberman. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the meeting of January 21st. Are there any changes, or if not, we can entertain a motion? Commissioner De Jesus.
I don't have any changes. I was just going to make the motion.
fine.
Make a motion to pass the minutes from the last meeting.
Commissioner Looney?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Oh, wait a minute, we're not quite set up yet.
Should be fine. Are we good? What's, I'm sorry? For the,
If you cast your votes, please, and lock them in.
thank you.
Motion's approved unanimously. Any changes to the agenda tonight?
No changes, Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, it's time for oral communications. This is the opportunity for anyone in the audience to come forward and speak on matters not on the agenda. So if you want to do that, you can come forward now. Seeing no one, we'll move on. Next on the agenda is our public hearing item, and I will briefly explain the process. Basically, the way it works is staff will give a presentation on the project, and the applicant, if he so chooses, will give a presentation. The commission can then ask questions, and from that point, we'll open up the public hearing. Taking all public testimony, we will then close the public hearing for Planning Commission discussion and a motion. And the first item on our agenda tonight is a site development plan for improving the convenience store at 845 East Vista Way. And if I could have a staff report, please.
Certainly. Good evening, Chairman Grimm, Planning Commissioners. My name is Patsy Chow. I'm the Assistant Director of Community Development. Pleased to be here this evening to present the only public hearing item on the agenda tonight, which is concerning Barnacles by Bear Holdings, LLC. So the proposed project is a request for a site development plan that will basically address the remodel of an existing convenience store. Existing right now, square footage is about 1,200 square feet, and that would include an addition of approximately 845 square feet to the convenience store. There will be also some associated site improvements as part of the project. There will be enhanced architecture at the existing convenience store with the proposed addition. There will be reconfiguring of the parking spaces to meet accessibility requirements, and the trash enclosure will be redone for better access, for adding a roof, as well as to meet the stormwater requirements. Last but not least, some landscaping, trees, shrubs, and ground cover will be added throughout the site, particularly along East Vista Way, as well as the rear of the project site. So this is aerial photo right here identifying the subject project site, which is zone C1, and it is identified in our general plan designated as neighborhood commercial CN. As you can see on the slide, it is surrounded by commercial uses pretty much on most sides, and Operation Hope to the east. And to the next slide, pretty much the same idea, just identifying the surrounding uses across the street. I have some pictures here, which actually would be probably better. Subject site identified on the top photo, and then bottom photo is the commercial uses across the street, KFC, chiropractor's office, and to the other side, to the south, Black Rock Cafe, there's a Jack in the Box, and then north of it, there's an auto repair business north of Barnacles. So the site plan, as identified here, identifies the on-site parking spaces that I wanted to kind of go over that. The requirement for the project is a minimum of 5 spaces or 1 space for each pump island, whichever is greater. In this case, it's 6 parking spaces being the greatest of the 2, and the proposed site is actually proposing 11 total parking spaces, including the 1 van accessible space, in order to comply with the development code parking requirements. The floor plan identified here shows the additional expansion, the 845 square feet, addition to the convenience store. I just wanted to mention, as far as hours of operation of the convenience store or the gas station, I should start with, is actually around, pretty much Monday through Sunday, 24 hours a day, 365. The convenience store, however, is closed. It is locked between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m., where the business is conducted actually through a speaker, through a window at the front of the store. And because they have an existing ABC license that sells beer and wine, which is a type 20 off-sale license, alcohol sales actually prohibited between hours of 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Per state law. On the landscape plan identified here, as I mentioned before, there's some additional landscaping along East Vista Way and also at the rear of the project site, a combination of trees, shrubs, and ground cover, about 4,400 square feet, about 20% of the site to be covered with landscaping, which exceeds the minimum, the requirement 10% for overall site landscaping for automobile service stations. I just wanted to kind of highlight in the yellow box is the fact that they have some climbing vines, trellis proposed at the rear of the building to help address any blank walls and then also minimize the potential for graffiti at that point. I have some elevation drawings that actually show that as well. So at the bottom picture, you can see the trellis with the climbing vines at the rear elevation, all 4 sides architecture addressing the building and the proposed addition, which is pretty much following a contemporary style combination of mostly flat roofs, use of stucco and a hardy panel siding veneer stone. The color scheme, as you can see on the slide, is dark, charcoal gray and then blue tone finishes. And that's helping, the climbing vines, again, helping eliminate the potential for any blank walls or graffiti, etc. So in terms of environmental review, the project is found to be exempt under state CEQA guidelines, basically class 1 categorical exemption because it is an existing use. It has a proposed addition that's less than 10,000 square feet, and it is not located in an environmentally sensitive area. Also, services facilities are currently available to allow for maximum development to occur per general plan commercial designation. In terms of public policy consideration, the project is consistent with our development code, with our general plan designation of neighborhood commercial. The land use designation allows for a variety of commercial uses serving residents, businesses in the area. And obviously allowed uses include a service station or a gas station, other retail uses, and therefore the remodeling of this existing gas station or service station would be consistent with the general plan. and it would be improving actually the existing service station in accordance with our general plan policies. So staff's recommendation tonight is for the Planning Commission to approve the site development plan for the remodeling of the existing convenience store for the addition of 845 square feet at 845 East Vista Way. And the project as it is proposed meets all the requirements of the C1 zone for gas station and with a site development plan. And again, would be consistent with our general plan designation of neighborhood commercial. And therefore, again, staff recommends approval of site development plan. This pretty much concludes my staff presentation. The applicant owner, Mr. Brian Jones, is in the audience. He does not have a formal presentation, but he is available for any questions you may have that I cannot answer regarding the operation of the business. Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you. Any questions for staff or the applicant? Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did have a question for the applicant. And Patsy, could we go back to the floor plan, please?
Sure.
Hi. I'm looking at the floor plan and the beer cooler area in particular. I'm wondering if your customers would have walk-in access to that beer cooler?
Yeah, it has doors that open out. So they'd be walking in there. They refer to it as like a beer cave. So you go in there and can you see the doors that open up outwards into the store?
Yeah, I do. But what I'm wondering about is then they're out of the line of sight from your cashiers. And I mean, have you considered what could be happening in there late at night?
Well, one, we close the store at midnight between 5 a.m. So that helps alleviate any type of theft or anything going on in there. Also, there'll be surveillance in there, and there'll also be the little chimes that go onto the door. This type of walk-in is extremely common. In fact, almost all new convenience stores that are built have this exact type of beer walk-in cooler.
So will you have camera in there so that they can
Oh,
see?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Looney.
Thank you. One question for staff and then question for the applicant. I noticed that there is an ADA path of travel to the trash enclosure. Is there any exemption that the state or federal government allows where that does not have to be provided
As far as an ADA path of travel,
to the trash enclosure?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Another question for the applicant. The trash enclosure butts up against your building. It may be 2 or 3 inches away. And we've got a sheet metal corrugated roof that has a tendency to warp and get dented in a very short amount of time with anything being thrown on top of it. It would be, I would have you consider trying to integrate that trash enclosure structure more into the architecture of your building, because it butts up against the building. And you've got a great building, and then you've got this trash enclosure that is of a completely different context architecturally than your building. And I don't know what staff can do, but if you could enhance that trash enclosure, you're going to end up with a much better looking building. So.
Understood. I can take that up with our architect. Obviously, all costs, so you start to do things, there's also a lot of costs are involved with it, but I can discuss that with the design team. I'm not the architect on it, but it can definitely be discussed.
Yeah. But I would really like to see staff maybe follow up on that. The building's great. You've done a great job on the building, but you got this ugly trash enclosure right next to it. So if you could enhance that, that would be good. Another comment is between the trash enclosure and the building, you've got a pocket there. And we have a lot of activity at night, and you might consider fencing that off, because that gives people a nice area to spend the night.
That's a good idea.
So those are observations. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Commissioner DeJesus.
This is more in the interest of local business. That huge beer cooler that allows for walk-in, will you be promoting, or are you working with any local breweries that you'll be carrying their products?
I will definitely be bringing in local beers from not only Vista, Carlsbad, North County, San Diego, try to have, like, really focus on local craft beers and help, obviously we're a business and community. I also want to have, like, highlight those businesses as well. That's one of the reasons why I actually do want to have a good beer cooler, because right now I only have one door, and you guys know there's so many different type of breweries out there. I can only put so many. So that is actually one of the things I want to do, is really highlight that. You're welcome.
Thank you. If no further questions, we can open the public hearing. So anybody that wishes to speak on this item, please come forward. Seeing nobody, we'll close the public hearing and open it up for Planning Commission discussion.
Chairman Grimm, I'm not sure if the student commissioners might have any comments or.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no discussion, I'd be happy to entertain a motion. Commissioner DeJesus?
I'd like to start by thanking the applicant for having been doing business in Vista for the last 32 years at this location. And to that end, I'd make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-P23-08 or 0386.
Do we have a second? Commissioner Looney?
Yes, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and cast your votes, please. And the item is approved unanimously. Okay, moving on down the agenda. Any reports from the Planning Commission? If none, reports from staff?
We have no reports this evening. I think we're expecting a meeting in March and April, one in March and one in April. But other than that, that's all we have to report tonight. Thank you.
Very good. If there's no other comments, we are adjourned.